In this particular segment, I don't know where quite to begin because there's so much to say, so much to ponder. Not even ponder anymore because it's so obvious. This video segment is about uh, whether America follows God. America, from the highest to the lowest. The government, primarily. The whole ideology of America. Is it being led or allowing itself, its structure to be based on God, the Creator, when I say God? We refer to the Creator as the Almighty, Most High, Yahweh, Elohim, Jehovah, and many other names. But we all know that all of those expressions and our titles have one common denominator. We are referring to the Creator of the universe, of all things that exist. I know there's some people who are agnostics and atheists who question if there is a divine being in charge, in control of. But I'm not talking to you directly. I'm speaking to people who do believe, and maybe there are atheists and agnostics that will probably glean something from this. I don't believe, and I won't be before you long. I won't be here browbeating anyone as far as what their belief or disbeliefs are. I believe that there's a Creator. And I just want to know, if you don't believe that there's a God, a supreme being, a divine presence, then what's after you die? And we'll stop right there on that question. So for those who do believe, does America follow the Creator? For all intents and purposes, I'm just going to use the term God right now. God does exist. And if you don't believe it, two things. First of all, you have to ask yourself, why is it that there is such a union with nature and all living things as it relates to us? How is it that we live on a planet that we need? Someone orchestrated this thing that we call our existence on this planet. Someone's behind it. Because it's amazing that we have all of the things that we need as human beings on this planet for us to exist. We have sustenance, food. We have sunlight. For without it, we would die. Without food, we would die. We have water. For without it, we would die. We have the ability to create, to build, to become more technically sound. We have the ability to explore planets, the deeper parts and depths of the ocean, and even the earth. We are very, very intelligent. We're the highest of any species on this planet, man. How is it that we have all of those things just by happenstance? Hello? That's number one. And number two, if you don't believe that there's a God, and I alluded to this and even mentioned this before, What's after death? Was it all just for fun? Was it all just for nothing, for naught, as it were? Our existence here. There's a divine purpose in all of this. There is a divine purpose for everything. We've gone through evolutionary changes for thousands of years. We've come from slingshots, as I say, to nuclear weapons. Man, it's pretty deep. So now, does this world, does our government follow God? No. I answered it instantly. It doesn't believe in God. Do the people believe in God? Not as a whole, but thank goodness, and I almost said thank God, it would have been appropriate too. Thank goodness there are some that do hold on to faith in a supreme being, and who believe that there's going to be a better world after the one that we are in right now. What's your measure of faith? Do you believe that we're going to have a better world after this one here? There seems to be so much chaos across this planet. So much in terms of war, disregard for others, oppression of others, abuse of other people by tyrants, dictators. So, just a couple things I want to bring out as far as America is concerned. In my question, does America, the whole construct called America, the government starting at the top, does America believe in God? Are they led by God? No. Because if they do, I have a few qualms with America. Why is there a mistreatment of black people from slavery, from its beginning up until this present time, if America believes in God? Why are black people disproportionately imprisoned in the American judicial prison complex, if you will, and poor whites as well, disproportionate to anybody else, and especially for minor crimes? And many have been found innocent who have served 10, 20, 30 years in prison and been released. Why is this happening? And why has this happened in America? Why does America ignore the veterans and the homeless? The Bible says that the poor will be with you always, but everybody doesn't have to be poor. We could do better as a country for the veterans and for the homeless, but yet the homeless and the veterans have become a distaste to some people who are affluent or people in power or position who make more money, who kind of scoff at them when they see them on the sidewalk in their tent cities and so forth, in underpasses, staying in parks and so forth. Is this the America that says that it believes in God more than they believe in helping those who are less fortunate? What about allowing major corporations to sell damaging products to the public for billions of dollars in profit? I'm talking about the food industries. There's a whole lot of toxic ingredients in the foods that we consume, restaurants, and in grocery stores. What about the drug industry? the pharmaceutical companies. We're being killed by that as well. Not that medicine doesn't have its place, because it does. Should only really be on an emergency basis, but it's not. It's a normalcy to keep Americans doped up, drugged up, to bring in or to reap those billions of dollars annually, when you don't even have to have drugs for many of our so-called ailments and illnesses. You know, natural things are not advocated by the drug industries, by the government. Why? Because it's not very much money in it at all, is it? It's the truth. So, I didn't plan, and I don't plan to be before you long. The question is still true. It's still on the table, in other words. Does America follow God? Well, there is a God that America does most definitely follow. It's called a dollar. The almighty dollar. That's America's God. And that takes precedence over any divine God. Such a sad story. And I've only scathed the surface in this video. It can get deeper, and it is actually deeper than that. Perhaps one day soon, I'll sit down and have a meeting, have a forum with some select guests, and I'll discuss this matter more in depth. But you really already know the answer. God is a God of love. God is not He's not a God of materialism, because He made everything that is, you know. We utilize it. The question is, how are we using it? It's not about material things. It's about following Him who made all things first. Following Him first. And everything else is last. Do you believe in God? Now, ask yourself that question. And if you do, I applaud you. You made a good choice. You made the right choice. But I hope you're acting on your belief. Govern yourselves accordingly, because our time on this planet is not very long. Much love. Yahweh loves you, and Brother Teacher loves you. So long.